I'm Peter Eisenman, an architect from New York City. I've been practicing architecture for approximately 40 years. This project that we are going to see today is one of the largest and most complex projects that we've ever undertaken in our office. And when we began, it was a competition, an international competition, which we answered. There were 10 competitors in 1999, and we were against some of the best architects in the world, Jean Nouvel, Rem Koolhaas, Daniel Libeskind, Ricardo Bofill from Spain, and many others. It was an important competition. And it was important that such a project was conceived by the state of Galicia as a competition. And there was an international jury. The thing that's important to understand about this project, as you go through it, is at the time the idea was that Bilbao, the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, had created what is called a Bilbao effect, and started what is now known as architectural tourism or architourism. And Bilbao was an enormous success. No one had ever went to Bilbao. It was a rundown area. And suddenly people were talking about flying to Bilbao, coming to Bilbao. And so the idea in Santiago was to build something like Bilbao, but different. And what would that mean as difference? First of all, Santiago has a long history of religious pilgrimages. It has the famous church, the remains of St. James. It has the Hostal, it has the Obradorio. It is a fantastic city in itself, but it only attracted religious pilgrims. And the whole idea was to bring tourism, another kind of tourism to Galicia, a cultural tourism, a lay tourism. But not only bring tourism, but also for the citizens of Galicia to open them up to the rest of the world, to have them understand how they relate in this modern world to not only to Spain, to Europe, to the Iberian Peninsula, but to the world. And so our idea as a project was not to copy the museum in Bilbao, which in a sense takes all of the energy out of Bilbao to one place, but in fact to disperse that energy throughout a place. And that place was Montegayas, where we are standing now, and to make not an exotic building, but to make a hillside, as it's been called, a magic mountain. And this magic mountain would be buildings cut in to the top of the hillside, and would we recreate the scale, the feeling, the spirit of the materiality that was Galicia, from the glass buildings of La Coruña to the stone facades of Santiago, but without copying it, but with bringing the same feeling to Galicia. And so we proposed a series of 6 buildings that were, as it were, cut into the landscape. They didn't look like buildings, they looked like the hillside. And the whole idea was to recreate the top of the mountain of Montegayas. The 6 buildings include 2 museums, one a museum of the history of Galicia, another an international art center, an obradorio, or a place of music and performance where there can be classes and performance from black box to large-scale music performance, an archive building, which we're standing in now, a library, a research center, all part of a complex called the City of Culture. And for me, when we did the design, it was very exciting. First of all, it was unlike any of the other entrants. Second of all, to win the design was to win the competition. And then to realize that we were going to build this project. We had no idea of the scale. First, when we started, We started, and the entire project was only 50,000 square meters. And of course, as we began to get into the program and we began to talk to people who were going to use the project, we realized that 50,000 square meters was not going to be adequate. And eventually, over time, since 1999, the project grew to 150,000 square meters. And what we see today is a partially realized. We have 2 buildings that are almost complete, 2 buildings that are complete, and 2 buildings that are under construction. And hopefully, by the year 2012, 13 years after we began, we will have a city of culture. I have to say that being in these buildings, having worked to develop the drawings, working as a team, and you have to realize that it's impossible to say, Peter Eisenman, you are the architect. There is no such thing as an architect for a project like this. There are many architects, many engineers, many politicians, many people involved in the production, constructors, everybody who feels something about Galicia and the city of culture. So we're talking about literally thousands of people it takes to build something like this and to keep the energy through political changes, because architectural projects like this take more than 10 years and political changes happen every 6 years. So there has to be this spirit of continuity through political change, through financial change, through economic change. And I have to say that every time I come here and see more and more of it, you have to realize that it's not just Peter Eisenman, it's something from the people of Galicia, for the people of Galicia. And I can tell you in my experience traveling all over the world and seeing much architecture and teaching architecture as I do for the past 40 years, that this is a seminal project. It is a work that is different, that transcends even the capacity to imagine what it would have been like. And when people come here, they're going to love being here, they're going to love participating here, they're going to love performing here, they're going to love using the buildings, and people of Galicia are gradually going to realize that they have something that couldn't have been predicted from the beginning. This small beginnings is a competition, and we who have been participating with the Galicians marvel every time we come here to see this place. And as it becomes more well known, as it becomes part of the culture and is used by people in the region, is used by people from Europe, it will become more and more well known. And I can say for myself, I will never, probably ever, get an opportunity to do another project like this. We've done exciting projects all over the world. And to me, this is something that people for years to come will begin to realize what has happened here in Galicia, what the people of this province and Spain have done for the world, for themselves, for the world of culture, for the modern world. And I think that's quite an achievement. I hope you enjoy the building. I hope you enjoy using the building, and thank you very much.